Stop scrolling. Not tomorrow. Not later. Right now. This is not a random video or a gentle coincidence. This is a divine interruption. God is speaking, and He's not speaking into your schedule. He's speaking into your soul. You didn't stumble across this by accident. You didn't land here because of an algorithm. You landed here because heaven has been watching you carry something too heavy for too long. There's a pressure inside you. Not loud, not obvious, but it's been building. A quiet tightness in your chest. A still, holy weight that whispers something is coming. Something must change. That is not anxiety. That is God. That's the Spirit stirring your awareness before your next assignment. You were made to miss moments like this. You were built to recognize them. So pause. Be still. Because what He's about to say could rewrite everything. Something is shifting, not in your inbox, not in your bank account, not even in your circle, but in the spirit realm, in the place where God speaks before earth reacts. He sees what's coming, and He's sounding the alarm before your eyes even catch a glimpse. You felt it, that quiet unrest in the night. You've gone through your daily routine, smiled at the right people, answered the text, stayed strong for others, but deep inside, something has been stirring. A holy unease, a warning that won't let go. You've prayed about other things, hoping it would disappear, but it hasn't. Because it wasn't meant to go away. It was meant to wake you up. God never lets His children walk in His storms unaware. Before the rain, Noah was warned. Before the famine, Joseph dreamed. Before the denial, Jesus warned Peter, gently but clearly. God does not react. He reveals. And right now, He's revealing something to you. Not to scare you, but to spare you. You are not hearing this by chance. This is mercy in motion. A whisper that shakes the foundation of everything you thought was stable. A gentle voice that says, "You've been walking distracted. Come back before the shaking begins." This isn't just a moment, it's a summons. God is calling you back into alignment, back into clarity, back into closeness, back into stillness. Because what's coming will require something different from you. It will require courage. It will demand discernment. And most of all, it will require proximity to God. You won't be able to navigate the next season with opinions, predictions, or logic. You'll need whispers, holy ones, and only those who pause to listen will be able to stand when the world begins to shake. You've been carrying too much. The smiles are real, but they're heavy. The strength is admired, but it's exhausting. The world claps for your survival, but heaven sees the bruises. And right now, God is saying, I never asked you to carry it all. I asked you to come to me. Not to perform, not to fix it, just to return. You weren't made to live constantly stretched, emotionally thin, spiritually distant. You were made to hear. So listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. That whisper in your spirit that says, come away. That pull that keeps dragging you to prayer, even when you don't know what to say. That ache that can't be silenced by sleep, music, or work. That's not emotional confusion. That's divine calling. God is not trying to interrupt your comfort. He's trying to interrupt your collapse. He's rerouting your path before you drift too far. Because while you've been managing your schedule, something has been managing your soul. There are forces unseen, moments approaching, traps being set, and you don't see them. But He does. And He's saying, stop. Listen. Come closer. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to save you. This is not just a warning. This is a rescue mission. He's not shouting to shame you. He's whispering to win you back. Not because you're a failure, but because you're His. He knows the tears no one saw, the pain behind your performance, the nights you whispered prayers into your pillow and hoped someone, anyone, was listening. Someone was. And He's not distant. He's moving. And He's calling you back before the wave hits. Because what's coming will not destroy you, but it will reveal what you've built your life on. Lift your eyes. Let go of the distractions that dulled your discernment. You were not made for noise. You were made for clarity. And the voice of God is near, closer than your breath. Right now, He's not asking for your performance. He's asking for your presence. So if you feel that quiet pull, that trembling inside your chest, say it aloud. I hear you, Lord. I am listening. Because what He speaks next will shift the ground beneath your feet. Can you feel it? That sense that something is changing? Not around you, within you. Like something invisible has started to move, and even though no one else sees it, your spirit won't let you ignore it. That's not paranoia. That's not your imagination. That's spiritual positioning. God is shifting things in the invisible before they manifest in the visible. And you're not being left behind. You're being called in closer. Heaven does not wait for the headlines to declare crisis. Heaven moves before you see the reason why. And God is moving now. Your dreams, your delays, your unexpected encounters, none of it is random. They're signals. They're preparation. They're divine hints that the next season is closer than it appears. And the people who will make it through what's coming are the ones who prepared before the shaking started. Let's be honest. You've been holding yourself together for longer than most people know. You've shown up. You've smiled. You've carried it well. But internally, you're tired. Not just physically, spiritually tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of pretending. Tired of believing when nothing seems to move. But that weariness you're carrying is actually evidence. Not that you're losing, but that something holy is birthing. Because the deepest fatigue often shows up right before the divine delivery. The world shouts, but heaven whispers. The enemy yells, distracts, overpowers, confuses. But God? He speaks in ways that require stillness. And that's why he's calling you out of the noise. Not to punish you, to protect you. Because what he's about to do in you needs focus. You can't carry this new thing while still clinging to what distracted you in the last season. This is the season where you must choose. Do you want to be busy? Or do you want to be bold? Do you want to be distracted by the crowd? Or positioned for the call? Because the voice of God is still speaking, loudest in the silence. Let's clear something up. That closed door, that rejection, that delay that felt cruel and unexplained, it was never punishment. It was protection. God saw what you couldn't. That person you thought would love you forever, they weren't sent to build, they were sent to distract. That opportunity you cried over when it disappeared, it would have pulled you in the wrong direction. You don't know all the traps God saved you from, but he does. And he didn't explain it to you back then because you would have tried to fix what he was tearing down. Now, he's not just bringing understanding. He's bringing redirection. There have been moments where you almost missed it. Times when God whispered, but you were too tired, too busy, too consumed. You scrolled past the warning. You turned down the volume. You said, I'll pray about it later. But later never came. And something was lost. Yes, lost. Not because you're disqualified, but because you weren't positioned. There is a cost to ignoring the whisper. And God, in his mercy, is saying, not again. This time, he's calling louder. The heaviness in your chest, the tension in your gut, it's not just emotional. It's directional. Something is coming. It's not visible yet, but it's real. A decision, a conversation, an open door, or a trap disguised as opportunity. It will require discernment. And discernment doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from sitting closer. You won't be able to navigate what's ahead with opinions and good intentions. You'll need a word, not from people, but from God. And that's why he's stirring you now, not later. Now, this message isn't here to condemn you. It's here to rescue you. God isn't waving a finger. He's extending a hand. And he's saying, come home, not just emotionally, not just mentally, but spiritually. Because your strength won't be enough this time, but his presence will be. You don't need a bigger platform. You need deeper peace. You don't need louder applause. You need quieter moments with the one who knows your name. The doors are starting to open again, but not like before. You won't have to knock, beg, or prove yourself this time. Because this time, the doors are opening not by striving, but by assignment. You're not walking and hoping to be accepted. You're walking in knowing you've been sent. But here's the key. You can't enter the next season with the same survival mentality. This is not a second chance at what was. This is a first step into what's holy. What the enemy used to delay you, God is now using to deliver you. What broke you is now becoming the platform God will elevate you on. What confused you is now becoming clarity. And what drained you is being replaced by divine power. But only if you pause. Only if you listen. Only if you come closer. So right now, take a breath. Say it again. I hear you, Lord. I'm still listening. Because what's about to happen is not small. It's not emotional hype. It's heaven's reversal. You thought you were late. You thought you missed your moment. You watched others rise while you waited, prayed, fought through silence, and wondered if you were forgotten. But listen closely, you were never behind. You were being anchored. Because when God calls someone chosen, He doesn't rush them. He refines them. And now, the unveiling has begun. Scenes shift. The hidden season had purpose. You weren't being overlooked. You were being protected. The silence wasn't rejection. It was preparation. The closed doors weren't dead ends. They were divine delays. Because the version of you that tried to force open doors years ago wasn't ready for what waited on the other side. But now you've been forged. Through tears, through betrayals, through seasons of isolation that left you wondering if the promise still stood. It does. In fact, it's closer than ever. This is not the season of striving. It's the season of stepping in. Not into chaos, not into busyness, but into order, heaven's order. Your life is being repositioned, not according to man's timeline, not according to your expectations, but according to God's calendar. And guess what? Your name is on this season. Heaven hasn't just watched your tears. It's counted them. And now, the time has been marked. The room has been cleared. The oil has been warmed. This is not the moment you begged to enter. This is the moment you're sent. Seen, divine authority is rising in you. The battle didn't break you. It revealed you. You were never just a survivor. You were a carrier of authority. Every silent prayer refined your voice. Every betrayal built your discernment. Every delay birthed something sacred. You are not the same person who entered the storm. Now, you walk with something stronger than opinions. You walk with heaven's endorsement. You've been asking, why me? Why the delays? Why the pain? Why the isolation? And heaven answers, because I entrusted you. There are things in you that could only emerge under pressure. Gifts that would have remained dormant in comfort. Strength that only surfaces in the fire. You thought you were being punished, but you were being positioned. Chosen doesn't mean famous. It means assigned. It means heaven saw what was buried in you and said, this one can carry the weight. There were plans set against you. Some you never even saw. Private conversations, jealous motives, people who smiled in your face but planned your removal behind the scenes. But God saw it all. And now, He's flipping the script. The same stage they try to keep you off of. God is now making room for you at the center. Not because you fought for it, but because you stayed faithful in silence. Heaven is declaring, what they meant to delay, you will now deliver you. This isn't just restoration. This is restoration with interest. You're not just getting back what you lost. You're receiving more than you knew to ask for. Because God never restores to the original. He always upgrades. That relationship that broke your heart, He saw it. That opportunity that slipped away, He allowed it. That version of your life that shattered, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. And now comes the release. The doors are creaking open. But this time, you're not walking through hoping to be seen. You're walking in knowing you've been sent. You're about to walk into rooms that once rejected you, and they won't recognize you. Not because you changed everything on the outside, but because the weight of God on your life has become undeniable. The peace in your eyes, the strength in your voice, the light around you. It's not human. It's holy. You'll walk into old environments with new authority. And they'll ask, what happened to you? You'll say, I stopped waiting for approval and started walking in assignment. This is the season of rise. Not viral, not trendy, but holy, rooted, deep. And those who overlooked you, they'll hear your name again. Only this time, they'll know, heaven did it. You thought you missed it. You didn't. You're right on time. In fact, you're the time. You are the evidence of divine timing. Because this isn't about you just stepping into something. It's about something finally being released through you. You're not late. You are unveiled. Say it again, this time out loud. I receive what heaven has been holding for me. Because it's being released. You didn't lose everything. It just felt like it. And maybe that's the worst part. You survived the storm, but you came out holding pieces. Fragments of dreams, friendships, plans. And you asked God, through tears, What am I supposed to do with this now? But heaven whispers back, what's shattered in your hands is becoming the very blueprint in mine. Because God doesn't discard broken things. He reconstructs them, not to make you what you were, but to make you into what you were always meant to become. This isn't just healing. This is excavation. God is digging into places you thought were buried for good. The heartbreak you stopped praying about. The identity you abandoned after failure. The potential you gave up when they left. And with holy hands, He's lifting those ruins back into the light. Not to shame you, but to say, look what I'm still building with what they left behind. You thought you were disqualified, but heaven has qualified you through the pain. Something inside you is realigning, not with the world's rhythm, but with heaven's heartbeat. You used to say yes to things out of fear. Now, God is teaching you to say no from wisdom. You used to accept what was handed to you. Now, He's training you to discern what was never yours to carry. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. You just need to stay aligned. Because this shift isn't about performance. It's about position. You're being positioned in the Spirit. And when your spirit is aligned, doors open without knocking. The enemy thought he could destroy you through delay, through detour, through doubt. But he miscalculated one thing. Your spirit didn't die. It just went deeper. And that depth, that's where your authority is rising from. Now the reversal is happening. You won't just recover. You'll reign. Not over people, but over lies, cycles, fears, and every assignment the enemy sent to limit your voice. This is redemption in motion. This is the holy turnaround. You've spent so much of your life asking, what's wrong with me? But God is answering with something better. Nothing is wrong with you. Something holy is happening inside of you. That loneliness? It was divine protection. That silence? It was holy shielding. That feeling of being too different or too sensitive? It was never a flaw. It was your divine radar picking up what others miss. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to discern. Your vision is returning. Not just what you see with your eyes, but what you sense with your soul. The ability to dream again, to believe again, to plan without fear, to wake up in the morning and say, I know who I am. That clarity is not random. It's not emotional hype. It's the evidence that heaven has begun the reconstruction. Prophetic turning point from survival to sending. You've been in survival mode long enough. Now, heaven is sending you. And the assignment won't feel like striving. It will feel like breathing. Because when you walk in divine alignment, things that used to exhaust you will now energize you. You'll speak with new confidence. You'll love with less fear. You'll lead without needing to be validated. Because you're no longer leading from insecurity. You're leading from intimacy. Everything you've walked through, every delay, every disappointment, every silent prayer has not been wasted. God is using it all to raise you, to root you, to release you. Because purpose is rising from the ruins. The very thing that broke you is becoming the soil for your next assignment. The pain didn't bury you, it planted you. And what's sprouting now? It's not weakness, it's wisdom. This isn't about arriving, it's about abiding. The invitation has never been, work harder. It's always been, come closer. So come, not because you figured it all out, but because you finally realized. You don't have to. All He ever wanted was your presence. Your yes, your surrender. God is not raising you up for applause. He's raising you up for glory. Not your glory, His. You are the canvas. He is the painter. And the masterpiece He's revealing now, it's not perfection. It's redemption. So take a deep breath. Feel the ground shift under your feet. Because what you thought was the end was the excavation of something eternal. Look around you. Not with your eyes, but with your spirit. Can you feel it? The atmosphere has shifted. The ground beneath your life isn't shaking from destruction. It's trembling because purpose is rising. This is the moment the enemy hoped you would never reach. But here you are, not buried, not broken, becoming. And the time? The time is now. You waited. You wondered. You whispered in prayer, God, when? And now heaven answers. Now. Not next year. Not someday. Now. Everything you thought was lost has been gathered. Every tear you cried has been bottled. Every hidden seed is breaking through the soil. The release has begun. And you're not behind. You're right on time. You're no longer who you were in the valley. That version of you, the one shaped by fear, rejection, comparison, perfectionism, no longer has authority in this season. Heaven is removing false labels. The words they spoke over you, gone. The lies you believed about yourself, broken. The shame that tried to keep you silent, crushed. Because now you know, I am who God says I am. And what he says is final. Authority has been placed in your mouth. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that shifts atmospheres. You will open your mouth, and healing will flow. You will speak, and people will feel peace they can't explain. You won't have to convince people anymore. Your presence will carry what your words cannot. Why? Because heaven backs you now. Not just your prayers, but your steps. Every room you walk into carries kingdom potential. Every decision you make carries kingdom weight. And the Lord is saying, you're not just moving. You're being moved by me. This is your commissioning. You're not being offered another opportunity. You're being released in a holy assignment. You are the answer to someone's prayer. You are the light in someone's darkest night. You're the voice that speaks what others were too afraid to say. And it's not because you're perfect. It's because you were purified in private. You've been trusted with the weight of glory. People will ask, how did they survive that? How did she rise from that? How did he come back from what should have destroyed him? And heaven will answer, because I was with them. You're the evidence that grace is real. You are the living proof that mercy speaks louder than mistakes. You are the fulfillment of promises your ancestors prayed for in silence. You're the one that breaks cycles, speaks life, and stands when others collapse. You're what the enemy could not stop. The waiting wasn't wasted. The silence wasn't abandonment. The fire wasn't failure. It was all preparation for this moment. This shift, this new chapter. You endured. You stayed. You kept listening even when nothing made sense. And now, heaven has leaned in. God is not pacing, hoping you get it right. He's smiling, because you finally see what he always knew. So walk, not with fear, but with fire, not with hesitation, but with heaven's backing. You're stepping into territory that once intimidated you, and now you walk in with peace. You are reclaiming what the enemy tried to bury in grief, shame, addiction, regret. And as your foot touches the ground of your next season, you're not walking alone. Angels go before you. The Holy Spirit surrounds you. The Father stands behind you, and the Son intercedes for you. You thought the unveiling would be flashy, but it's holy. You thought the arrival would be loud, but it's sacred. You thought the victory would be seen in applause, but it will be known in impact. Lives will change. Chains will break. Generations will shift. Because you said yes. You didn't just survive. You surrendered. And heaven calls that victory. So lift your head. Straighten your back. Let every lie that said you're not enough fall to the ground. You have been refined. You have been chosen. You are rising. And the shift, it's not just coming. It has begun. Heaven declares over you. What tried to break you will now become the platform that launches you. The tables are turning. The winds are changing. The blueprint has shifted. And you are the evidence. Now walk in it.